He's 35 years old, but he's only been able to save up $20,000. He makes a good wage, 80,000 a year, but he's raising a family. He can only save 6% of that. Everybody thinks you have to save 10 to 15%, but he can only save 6%, which is $400 a month. He wants to know if he needs to work until age 70. How can he ever begin to know what his numbers might look like? Folks, that's what we do in this channel, $1 Million Made Easy. We help you know your numbers, and we actually show you what actual returns for the last 100 years might do for you in the future. These are the returns for the S&P 500. We simply project ahead what similar returns might do for him in the future. This is one of the spreadsheets that we use. Again, he's 35 years old. Stay till the end. You'll see how this all works out. He currently has $20,000. He knows he's behind. He can save $400 a month, but he needs to know, and also his expenses are going to be about $66,000 a month. He's making $80,000 a year. He figures he'll need a little bit less than that once he reaches retirement, but this is in today's dollars. So if he retires at age 67, that'd be from age 35 to 67, that'd be 32 years from now. That $6,000 to have the same buying power, he's going to need over $15,000. But we need to take into account Social Security. That's so important to see what Social Security might provide. But again, how is he going to know that? Well, in actuality, Social Security actually gives you what's called a quick calculator. Let's look at that for a minute. This is what it looks like if you go to Social Security Quick Calculator. Type in your date of birth. In this case, he's 35 years old, June 15th of 1990. He currently earns $80,000 a year. You can do this for yourself with your own numbers. And down here, you click today's dollars. You want to see what your benefit estimate's going to be. This is the result that you get. In this case, by age 67, he's going to get 2825. So that's the number we're going to use in the spreadsheet, 2825. So 2825. Let's go ahead and look at these numbers now. Folks, using the data for the last 100 years for the S&P 500, in the worst case scenario with these numbers, you'd have 1.216 million. That's using the 32-year period. Again, from age 35 to 67 is 32 years. After 32 years, the worst returned amount you'd have using 1987 numbers, you have 1.216. Second worst using 1991 numbers, 1.259. This blue column shows you we'd have 90% of the time using numbers from the last 100 years. 90% of the time you'd have at least 1.347. With the median for this 32-year period over the last 100 years, you have 1.7 million. And the absolute best case scenario, you have $3.94 million. So that's the range that we could potentially have for the next 32 years using numbers, similar returns for what we've had for the last 100 years. And if we did that, if you even take the worst case scenario, this 1.216, and started withdrawing these numbers. Now, how do we come up with these numbers? That's your future expenses with a 3% inflation rate. $6,000, you'd need this kind of money. Social Security, this 2825, it's going to grow. We're going to grow it at a COLA of 2.5% over the next 32 years. That's going to grow to 6266. And if you take it at age 67, you get 100% of that. So these are the numbers we're looking at. Once he retires, this has this kind of amount. Again, this is the worst case scenario. Starts withdrawing that. He would not run out of money. This row right here shows you what age you would run out of money if you do. But in this case, you don't run out of money, even in the worst case scenario, second worst, and 90% of the time, your money lasts also all the way through here. But let's start running some different numbers here real quick, just to show you if we start retiring a little bit earlier. Remember, he didn't want to work till age 70, but he really doesn't even want to work till age 67. And given these numbers, he doesn't really have to. What happens if we go to age 66? Still, his money's lasting, even in these worst case scenarios. This is, again, the 10% worst case scenario right there. 90% of the time, you'd have at least these amounts. How about age 65? Now it started affecting it. So in the worst case scenario, using 1952 numbers, his money would run out at age 95. The second worst, 1955 numbers, 96. You get how this all works. But 90% of the time, your money would not run out. How about age 64? age 64. Now we're down in worst case scenario, age 86, second worst 87. And 10% of the time you'll be running out of money at age 89. The median would show you're running out of money at age 95. So you might not be very comfortable with that, especially if you want to go much earlier. Watch these numbers change drastically. Now we're running out of money at these ages. If you want to go at age 62, why? What's going on here? You have a lot less money because you only have 27 years for this money to grow instead of 32 years. Remember, we had 32 years right here, 67. You had 1.216 million, but just 5 years earlier, given this is the worst case scenario, you have 580,000. The median would be $1 million and so on. But that's why these monies are run out sooner, because of your expenses are a little bit less because there's less time for this to inflate. But you're still needing, you're only getting 70% of what you'd be getting if you waited till age 67, because if you take it age 62, that's what you get. So let's go ahead and look at, let's say you want to go out, really want to go out at age 64. What could you do differently so your money does not run out at age 89 10% of the time, or age 95, the median for what's happened in the last 100 years? Watch what happens if we just change this, increase that by 3% a year. Watch this row right here. The numbers are going to change drastically about when you run out of money. Why? Because you're putting in a little bit more each year. Now your money lasts. Isn't that incredible? What are we doing? We're simply increasing it from $400 a month to $412 to $424 and so on. We're just increasing that $400 a month by 3% a year. He would have no idea that that would be potentially possible if we didn't run the numbers for him. So let's go ahead and see if we can do this age 63 maybe. 63, now your money's lasting till age 94, 90% of the time. So see what we've done by simply running the numbers, showing him where he might be, not forgetting to take into account Social Security, because even though he feels like he's way behind the curve, only being able to save up 20,000, he is making a good wage, and because he's making that good wage, he's going to have a healthy sum coming from Social Security. And if you believe Social Security is not going to be there, we could change these numbers to less than that. But right now, I just wanted to show you what we can do on this channel. It looks like you'd be pretty comfortable retire at age 63 instead of waiting. Obviously, he didn't want to go to age 70. If we went to 62, it might be a little bit more iffy. That'd be only last until 80, 81. But 63 looks like it could be a number that he could possibly live with. Again, that's what we do on this channel, help people see their numbers. Otherwise, you have no idea how these numbers might work out. You might feel like you're so far behind that you can only save 6% of this, and you feel like, I'm going to need to work until I drop. But according to the numbers, just using returns for the last 100 years, what's actually happened, we see right here that he could potentially go out as age 63, and definitely at age 64, your money would not run out, even in the worst case scenario. Folks, that's what we do on this channel, $1 Million Made Easy. We help people see their numbers projected ahead with the help of a Social Security calculator, which is really beneficial to use. Go ahead and play around with that. But again, if you want me to run numbers for you, please just put it in the comment section. But in the meantime, please consider subscribing to this channel. I really want to get this channel going for people. Please subscribe, please share, please let people know about it. Please like the video, and thanks so much for watching.